Hello friends, and welcome to another week of reading with me. It is week 2 of Escape the Readathon, which is hosted by Books with Lexi, and I am co-hosting Team Podcasters with Mel. So you will get little tidbits of information sprinkled throughout this vlog if you're here from the readathon. But if you're just here in general, like we're just having a week of reading, I'm really excited about the books on my agenda. Some of them are on my Battleship TBR, some of them are newbies to me, but it is a week of Kindle reading this week. That might mean KU books, that might mean books that I have come across on Kindle or through the library, but I'm excited to have this little guy tagging along with me throughout the week. It is the last real week of teaching, so we have to get our kids ready for exams this week. They have a project to finish up, we have awards days, I have a class party that I'm throwing for one of my classes, so it's going to be a little bit busy and a little bit hectic trying to tie up all of those loose ends at the end of the school year. So having books readily accessible on my Kindle for moments where I do get downtime at work is going to be essential this week. And then of course, I just love flying through books on my Kindle because there is something in this device that just makes you turn the pages faster. So we are starting this week with one of my most anticipated releases of the year. I talked about it before the year even started back in my anticipated books of 2025 video, which I'll link down below if you're curious about it. But I actually ordered the hardcover and it's lost in Atlanta somewhere. And that's kind of what encouraged me to start this themed video of reading on my Kindle, and that is Shield of Sparrows by Devney Perry. I am anxious to get a hand on my hard copy of that book because it's beautiful. I have so much envy and FOMO for the people who are opening it in their videos right now. But Devney Perry always makes sure that her books are accessible on Kindle Unlimited. And I got to page 100 last night and I am just having the time of my life. I am not a newbie to Devney Perry. I do enjoy her Eden series, which is kind of romantic suspense set in a small town in Montana. And then I've also read her first book in the Crossroads duology. I'm not exactly sure what the name of that series is, but they're great audiobooks, and honestly, I might pick up the second one in that series on audio this week. It is also on Kindle, so I can justify listening to it on Audible. Haha. I'm gonna catch you up on Shield of Sparrows a little bit later. I am a little bit in a rush right now because my nephew's first birthday party is today. That's why y'all are seeing me like in real clothes. Normally I'm in like a bookish t-shirt or a crew neck every day of my life, and then sweatpants or pajama pants that you can't see because I do like to just hibernate. But I do have his birthday party to go to today and I am so excited. My friend is going to come with me and we're going to have a great time. I did want to show off what I made for him. I talked a little bit about working on a crochet project in last week's vlog. And so here's what I made him. It's a little teddy bear lovey. His room is blues and neutrals, and this thing is so soft. Like, I hope he loves it and that he snuggles up with it and that he just has the best time. So I'm gonna wrap this real quick and wait for Brent to get here. And then when I just went outside to take care of something, I noticed that my book of the month box was left at my door. I am a little bit nervous because it's raining outside right now and the corner of my box is wet. I'm really nervous because one of the books in here I do want to read next week and I hope it's not damaged. So let's cross our fingers. But I thought we could open it together. So first of all, book of the month always sends a bookmark. It's just like your standard bookmark, but on the back it says, "It's been pages since we met." So that's cute. I don't really use these, but they're here for a fun time. The first book I got is from arguably one of my favorite authors of all time, and that is Frederick Bachman. This is My Friends. All I really know about this is we're following two timelines. One is following a group of friends, and one is following a girl who is investigating a painting, and we see how those two storylines intertwine and tie together. Frederick Bachman just knows how to speak to me about humanity and empathy, and I'm so ready to fill this book up with tabs and highlights because that's what I do when I read his books. Looking at the pages, it doesn't really look like the book got wet. See if I can make it focus. I don't know that it's gonna focus, but the pages are slightly wavy on this one, but maybe putting it under something heavy will help out. I'm so excited about this one, but I don't think it's going to be a May book. We'll probably read it in June or July. And then fortunately, this next book doesn't look like it has the wavy pages issue. And when I tell you, I am excited about this one. It is Silver Elite by Danny Francis, romantic dystopian adult sci-fi that people are raving about right now. I know there's whispers of, is this somebody writing under a pen name? I don't care. I just want to read a good book. Okay. So while I won't be getting to these this week, Oh, I'm so excited. And I know there's people who are annoyed by Book of the Month because they put the little logo in the corner. But as a teacher who struggles to afford new releases and to keep up with things as they come out, I am grateful for Book of the Month for offering a more affordable hardcover edition. So yeah, it's not going to be the prettiest thing on my bookshelf, but I can't be mad about it, and my wallet definitely can't be mad about it. So I'm very excited to get into this one. And I mean, guys, they're trying. It has a foiled cover. It's not picking up great on the camera because I'm not facing natural light, but it is foiled. And then they did do some fun sprayed edges for us Book of the Month subscribers. So this one's gonna sit on my TBR cart for just another week, and then we will be diving into this one next week. I'm pumped. Okay, let me get ready to go to this birthday party. I'm back from birthday partying with my nephew and my family, and he's just the cutest baby. I mean, I know everybody thinks that the babies in their life are the cutest babies, but he is the cutest and the best baby. It was astronaut themed for his first trip around the sun, and they got him a little spacesuit. I about died. I'm not gonna put pictures of him on the vlog because he's not my kid, and putting kids on the internet is weird, and so I'm not going to be doing that. And then after that, Brent and I went to an art gallery because he had to get a gift, and we also are going to hang out tonight. He is picking up dinner right now. I'm getting a hamburger because that just sounds so good, and some fried green tomatoes because I'm from the South. And we're gonna watch some of the shows that we haven't gotten to catch up on because we've just been so busy. So Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Severance, and then I think we're gonna start the first episode of season 3 of Wheel of Time. We're just very behind on our shows. So it should be exciting, but I also haven't read today. I promise I'm reading for you guys, and I'm itching to pick Shield of Sparrows back up. But sometimes like your real life stuff just is important, and as much as I love this readathon and as much as I love doing this for YouTube, today is a real life day, and there's nothing wrong with that. I will update you guys when I get to about 50% of Shield of Sparrows, unless there's something like, oh my gosh, I need to update you right now. And I mean, we do really need to get out of the gym and spa. And to be frank, I am not reading a book for the gym and spa right this second, but I do have some on my Kindle, some short stories that will help us get there. But I mean, when you find a book that you can't put down, you just gotta read it. Hello everybody, it's now Sunday, and I have probably had the slowest couple of reading days that I have had since the readathon started, but I'm really not complaining about it because sometimes you just need those days with your friends and your family, and it's worth it to not read very much, and that's the case for me. My nephew's birthday party yesterday was so much fun. There was so much good food and family and friends, and just watching him open all of his presents was so sweet and adorable. And then we did a whole bunch of stuff yesterday. Brent and I are finally watching Severance again. We watched the first episode of season 2 like a month and a half ago, and we just haven't had time to get together and watch it. So we watched 2 more episodes, and we also watched the first episode of season 3 of the Wheel of Time. And not to get too into it, but what are they doing? What are they doing with that show? I don't get it. I'm on book 6. Like, I haven't started book 6, but that's where I am in the series, and I don't understand where some of the characters' paths are going. But what you guys are here about is to finally hear me rave about Shield of Sparrows. I am not very much farther in than I was the other day. Chapter 10, page 106, but I did want to give you guys kind of the foundation of the story. We are following the royal family, and I am really bad at location names, but the royal family of this place over here. And there are 2 sisters, May and Odessa. Odessa's the older sister, but she's also not the one who is in line to become a queen one day. That is her little sister May. She has been brought up knowing that one day she is going to marry a prince from another kingdom and continue this long line of treaties that has kept the kingdoms at peace. However, when the prince and all of these warriors show up at their kingdom, they take a look at Odessa and they're like, she's the one that I'm going to marry. So all of a sudden, Odessa's entire life is kind of mapped out for her, and it's not the life that she had planned. There are also a whole bunch of elements that's going on with the magical creatures in this world, including marrow eels. And if you go to Debney Perry's Instagram, she posted artwork of all of the magical creatures, and that is another reason why I wanted to get into this so much. But we are introduced to the prince. There is a whole wedding ceremony, but there is also this guy who is just called the Guardian, and he's very mysterious and he's very brooding. And we've actually gotten more scenes with the Guardian and Odessa than we have gotten with Xavier, who is the prince, and Odessa. And I'm like, I know that the love interest is supposed to go one way, but nothing is set up for it to go the way that the plot is intending for it to go. So I'm over here going, how is this going to happen? How is this going to pan out? But right now, Odessa and the whole crew are traveling by boat back to the prince's kingdom. That's as far as I've gotten. So not much in the world of banter and romance, but just a lot of story setup and a lot of character building for Odessa herself. She is a little bit of a wild spirit. She is misunderstood. Her stepmom has kind of been awful to her over the course of her life, has made her dye her beautiful red hair brown because it reminds her stepmother too much of the king's original wife, and she just wants to be this wild, free, carefree spirit and doesn't really care about the weight of a crown. And I like her free spirit and her feistiness. It's like a quiet feistiness though. I like it a lot. I'm curious to see where else the story is going to go. I have seen a lot of reactions of people who have finished this book, and I don't know what I'm in for right now. I am sitting on my sprints for Escape the Readathon right now, and I'm about to have dinner. This is a little French bread pizza, and then get back to reading. But I'm very excited about this book. It's Wednesday, and this vlog is not going the way I intended it to go. I thought that I would be done with a book and like halfway through another book by now, because I started this reading vlog on the weekend, but because I was so busy doing real life things and enjoying friends and family over the weekend, I didn't read very much, which is totally fine. I'm not beating myself up over that at all. That's the way life is supposed to be, you know? But then this week has just gotten a hold of me and not let go. It's been a really hard week at work. Everyone is feeling summer break, even though we still have a week and a half to go. And that just makes my job really hard. And then yesterday when I got home from work, normally it's pickleball day. Tuesday is like my pickleball group. We meet up, we play together. So I already knew I wasn't gonna have a lot of reading time yesterday, but I felt awful when I got home from work yesterday. I got in the bed at 6 and did not leave the bed until I had to go to work this morning. So I read a little bit, but I am still only at 50% of Shield of Sparrows. That is not to say I'm not enjoying it, because I am really enjoying this book. It is doing what I love in romantasy correctly. So I love Rebecca Ross's writing in A River Enchanted and A Fire Endless. This is not the same kind of writing, but I will say that the writing is really good. And so that is my favorite thing. That is like what I want to latch onto in a romantasy story. If the writing is good and makes me feel immersed and I can appreciate my time reading through it, everything else will set itself up for success. When I am struggling with the writing, I am going to struggle with everything else. Secondly, we have kind of a mystery surrounding the whole relationship in general. We've already experienced the wedding. It's an arranged marriage. We already know who she's married to, or do we? It's crazy. So she's married to Prince Xavier. It's completely loveless up to this point. They've exchanged a few like sweet conversations. And we also have this kind of broody character called the Guardian who travels with their group as well. And we get a lot more interactions with him than we do with Prince Xavier. We also have all of these magical creatures, and I feel like there is so much more to the story with the magical creatures than what we're being led to believe. Right now, we're just kind of seeing them as obstacles, as creatures that we have to fight in order to get to our destination. But little hints are being dropped that there is something that we don't know yet about these magical creatures and that we are going to find out about them. Odessa is playing spy. She's trying to infiltrate this enemy kingdom on her father's orders, and she's feeling like she's doing a really bad job. I really like her character overall because she's not snarky, stabby assassin. She is a regular girl who had a situation thrown upon her that she was not expecting, was not prepared for, and is navigating everything that comes with that. On top of all of that, we have a very lush world. We are traveling a lot in the wilderness, and that is one way to really learn about a new territory alongside Odessa, and I feel like the book is doing a good job at that. If I had to nitpick anything, it would be that the side characters are falling a little bit flat for me in more areas than one, but the intrigue of so many different elements, like the romance, like little world building hints that have been dropped, like why do some characters have starbursts in their eye and some don't? Why are the animals acting the way they are? Why do certain colors matter? So I am very intrigued, and I have reading sprints for Escape the Readathon on my channel tonight, so I'm really hoping to get a lot of this read. I'm so excited about it. I also want to read at least one more book in this reading vlog, so it is hi-ho on to the rest of the books, you know? I also wanted to open some more books with you because while I was on a reading ban, or a book buying ban, not a reading ban, who am I? I was on a book buying ban last month, and that made me go a little crazy this month, which always happens. Like a book buying ban, unless you have to do it for financial reasons in a month, like it's only setting you up for trouble the next month. Just take it from me. But I have 3 books to open with you guys today. Okay, package number 1. So this book I actually got super cheap from Amazon's used book like option that they have. And this one came from Goodwill, Minnesota, and it looks new. There is nothing wrong with this book. So this is called Made for You by Jenna Satterthwaite, and this was recently my friend Elise's book club pick over at the Libernauts book club. I did not get to participate the month they read this, but I'm a part of their Discord, and I saw so much good conversation happening around this. This says, synthetic woman Julia Walden was designed for one reason: to compete on The Proposal and claim the heart of bachelor Josh LaSala. Her casting is controversial, but Julia seems to get her fairy tale ending when Josh gets down on one knee. Fast forward 15 months and Julia and Josh are married and raising their baby in small town Indiana. But with haters around every corner, Julia's life is a far cry from the domestic bliss she imagined. Then her splintering world shatters. Josh goes missing and she becomes the prime suspect in his murder. So we're talking about synthetic humans. We're talking about like, can they be integrated into real life? And we have a mystery thriller. It sounds so good, and these are the types of books I fly through. So I'm excited about this one, and like I said, this was super cheap because I used the used option on Amazon, and I am not disappointed. Okay, we have this big box from Amazon, and I did have to get this book from Amazon. So, War of Lost Hearts. I've read the first 2 books, and recently new covers were announced, which I am so happy that the author loves what is being put on her books, but I don't love the new covers, and I wanted to make sure I had a complete set of the indie covers. So I went ahead and got book 3 in the War of Lost Hearts trilogy, which is Mother of Death and Dawn. This is the last one that I have to read in the series, and just like the other 2, she is quite thick. How many pages is this book? It's over 700 pages. So I don't know when I'm going to get to this one, but I really, really love this series. I love Max with my whole entire heart. So excited to have a complete set of the original covers. And then the last book that I got this month is from Aardvark, which I get charged for them anyway. So if I'm going to get charged, I might as well get a book if I'm happy with one of the selections. They used some strong tape on the Aardvark book this month. Okay, here is the Aardvark bookmark this month. It's very springy. It's kind of like optical illusion-y too. And I save all of these in case I ever open my Pango store again. Then I know I have boxes that will fit. But the book that I got is When the Wolf Comes Home by Nat Cassidy. I'm excited about this book because I like Nat Cassidy. I've read Nestlings. I want to read Mary. I want to read Rest Stop. But I'm also just so excited because, you know, every time I get an Aardvark book, I just have to feel the cover. They feel so good. I know that this is kind of quirky, campy horror compared to Nestlings, which was very atmospheric horror, but nonetheless, I am excited. We've got this wolf on the cover, and I think this is a story about a girl who comes home one night and she sees a boy who is in distress, and it turns out his father is not a good person and is trying to find him, and it turns into something of a chase story. But I also always have to look at the naked cover of an Aardvark book. I like the colors of this one. It's very like chocolatey. It's like chocolate and pistachio. They feel so good. So I think I'm gonna try and read this one this month. It is Mel and Cassidy's Indie Archive book club pick. So hopefully I'll get to this one. It is pretty short and Mel really liked it. So I hope I like it too. Hopefully I will be back with a positive reading update since I'm going to get to a lot of Shield of Sparrows tonight, but I wanted to sit down and get all of that taken care of with you. So yay for new books, yay for reading sprints, yay for a romantasy that I'm loving, and I will see you guys in another clip, hopefully tonight. Fingers crossed. Good morning from my work parking lot. I am here to update that I did finally finish a book this morning. It was not Shield of Sparrows. I decided to listen to a short story available on Kindle Unlimited. They have some books where you can get the audio for free. And so this morning I listened to It Waits in the Woods by Josh Mallerman. This is a short horror story about a pair of sisters, and one of them goes missing when she is 14 in the woods. And there's this local legend about this mystical bridge and a creature that guards it whose name is Upso. And everybody believes that this was just like an abduction in the woods, but the sister, her name is, wow, I just forgot her name. Anyway, she is convinced that this legend about Upso is what really happened to her sister. And so when she turns 18, she's like, I don't care what anybody says. I'm going into the woods. I'm bringing my film equipment because she likes to make movies, and I am going to go find my sister and unearth this legend about Upso. And it is creepy on audio. It wasn't the creepiest thing I've ever read. It only had 52 pages to do what it needed to do, but it was pretty good. Okay, I'm on my own reading sprints, but I don't get to read right now because I got too much stuff undone in my house. So we're about to do a little do a chore, reward myself with a chapter, do a chore, reward myself with a chapter, because I want to read so badly. So let's get stuff done. First, let's fix this disaster. Much better. Much, much better. It's time to wrap this vlog up. If you felt like this vlog was a little bit pieced together, that's probably because it was. This was not my greatest reading week, and it wasn't my greatest vlogging week. I started out this vlog with family events and activities and being social and hanging out with my best friend, which I was so grateful for those moments. But then once we got into the work week, I just felt beat down mentally, physically. I'm exhausted right now. And on top of that, we also got some not great news about a medical situation a family member is facing. And so everything just started to feel really heavy. I woke up with a fever this morning. And so I think that my body has just been fighting all of the heaviness and all of the overwhelm and all of the stress. And that reflected in my reading week. I read a book and a novella that I really enjoyed, but that was all that I got read. That's okay. I know that my team loves me. I know that I love myself, and I know that my books were good. And at the end of the day, that is all that matters. So let's talk about the books I read. We already talked about It Waits in the Woods by Josh Mallerman. This was a horror novella that I ended up really enjoying. If you do this one, listen to the audiobook. I think that the kind of surprise that you get through listening to the audiobook is worth it. And I was able to submit that. And then this morning I finished Shield of Sparrows by Devney Perry, and I really had a good time with this book. At the end, I gave it a 4.5. Some of the earlier nitpicks I had that I vaguely alluded to in this video remained nitpicks for me, unfortunately. And then I do feel like the pacing struggled in the middle just a little bit. Devney Perry has always written contemporary romance that deals with romantic suspense, and they've been shorter than an almost 700-page book. So I feel like she didn't quite know how to handle the pacing in the middle of the book, and she'll learn, and I feel like there is so much promise for book 2. The way book 1 ended, like, I want to chat with everybody. I feel like I have put little feelers out into different discords I'm in, being like, what do you think about the ending? And I'm getting different feedback from different people as well as online friends. I loved the character of Odessa in this book. I loved that she wasn't a stabby female assassin like we see in so many of these books. She wasn't automatically a snarky, sarcastic woman who is dead set on revenge or something like that. She was a character who was just a simple girl. Yeah, she's a princess, but like, she was very simple. She wore a great dress. She liked to journal. She liked to go swimming. And then all of a sudden she is thrust into a world of politics and having to stand up for herself. And she has to learn how to fight. And it's not even something that she wants to know how to do. She does it out of necessity. We are thrown into a world of monsters and secrets and intrigue. There's so much more I could say, but I don't want to spoil anything, but just know the atmosphere of this book is really good. The pacing struggles. You're going to love main characters. You're going to love some side characters. You're probably going to struggle with some side characters. And there's so much world building to be discovered. I think sometimes she doesn't world build in the best way, but she world builds in a fine way. I love Devney Perry, and like, I knew that I could put confidence in her doing a romantasy, and I really do think she did that well. while this week wasn't great, and I don't feel great right now, I feel like you can see that my cheeks are pink. That is a telltale sign of a fever in me. I'm very excited about the books that I'm going to read next week. And I also realized I did not talk about the games or the rooms that the podcasters were stuck in this week. So if you watched all the way to the end, this is your reward for hanging out with me during this very eclectic vlog. So podcasters have actually been stuck in a game for longer than I would care to admit, but we have been working so hard. It is going to feel like such validation when we're out of here. So we unlocked the gym and spa earlier this week, and the gym and spa left us with 5 prompts for our game, and we have been little reading machines this week. Every day we're like, are we any closer? Are we any closer? And man, it's been a lot of work, and I feel like I can't tell you what prompt I submitted for Shield of Sparrows, because if I do, it might lead to a little bit of a spoiler, so I'm not going to. But I will tell you that I submitted It Lies in the Woods for, was it black on the cover? I think I submitted it for black on the cover. I'm really excited to get out of the gym and spa. We have been climbing this rock wall for forever. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this vlog up so I can start next week's reads and also get in the bed and rest some more. I feel like poo. It's great. If you watched all the way to the end of today's vlog, why don't you leave me some sort of bird emoji for Shield of Sparrows? I feel like that is very appropriate. If you want to hang out with me in other places on the internet, I always have my social media linked down below, as well as my Patreon if you would like to support my channel in any way. And I will see you guys in another video very soon. Bye guys.